Creative work, the center of my life.
The more I see you, the more...
Last year, I worked on this cover of the Sistine Chapel in Rome, and it took me 3 whole months to finish. I painted it in watercolor instead of the fresco technique Michelangelo used. I also added lights and made it 3D. So it would be a special rendition of mine that I would gladly add to my portfolio. I've learned so much from this project, but I knew that for the next one I wanted it to be bigger, for it to be better, for it to be mine. I wanted to add feeling. I wanted it to be fully my work and not just a cover like the last one. I've created a story so deep, so vast, so me. Pages filled with stories, notes, sketches, ideas. Along the way, this all translated to one final project. One big story. A 50-meter long story. My story. The prologue is all about finding peace. Peace in mind and in heart. Because then truly, without jealousy, greed, lust, gluttony, pride, laziness and wrath, then you can experience and live. There he is, sitting on a rock in a cave. Darkness surrounds him. His guitar in his hand, him at total peace. It was a hard journey for him to get here. But he's here. When he was growing up, he started thinking more. What is the point of life? What does life have to offer? What will I spend the little hours I have in this little life doing? He starts looking around, exploring. He tries a lot of things, certain religions, certain groups. Maybe to be part of something makes him feel like he belongs somewhere. To belong is to be at peace, right? And those groups, those people he was around, they were great people. In the church he was in, he learned about sin, this bad behavior. He saw it everywhere around him. But he didn't believe all of it was bad. Murder, theft, anger, gluttony, laziness, pride, greed, jealousy, and lust. These things were awful. He noticed people focusing so much on what they weren't allowed to do, and that can't give you the feeling of freedom. He decided to focus on what he gets to do, not on what he can't do. He is human. He gets to feel, to experience. And this was quite a revelation to him. Memento mori became memento vivere. He started creating stuff, making. He wanted to share this newfound passion for creating with the world, and he did so with art. The paintings, music and poems he created sparked with emotion. He felt and tried to convey all sorts of emotions. He wanted to feel sadness, happiness, joy, laughter, grief, and love. He wanted to love. And there he is, sitting on a rock, playing guitar, this time not surrounded by darkness. It feels light, bright. He opens his eyes and sees her, with eyes brighter than all the stars combined. He would get lost more easy in those eyes than in his place in the universe. Her beauty, like nothing he had ever seen before. Beautiful, long, flowing hair. Everything about her just seemed soft, warm, cozy. As time went on and they learned to get to know each other, they could talk for hours, went on dates together, walks through the forest where the light hit the tree branches just enough for the rays of light to come through. But most of all, they loved looking at the stars together. For her, they felt far away. For him, such greatness also lay centimeters away from him. But then, He reached out for her desperately, and like how Icarus's wings melted when he got too close to the sun, so did his, and he fell. When he used to be with her, he felt weightless, like a feather drifting in the wind. He felt like concrete now. He was cut off. It felt horrible. It made him sick because he loved her so. He cried because he felt. He felt so greatly now that he hurt so greatly. Ocean-filling tears streamed out of his eyes. It was chaos. He felt as if all of his insides were gone now, like he was stabbed, like she stabbed him. It was as if the tears weren't the only thing flowing out of him. Everything was. All the good things had left with her. His joy gone, peace gone. It was just him and his awful thoughts remaining. He'd do anything to get back to her. He would have rearranged the stars to see once more beauty like how he saw it in her eyes. That beauty like flowers, stars, galaxies. So grand, so amazing, all packed in this woman who once held him so closely. She'd haunt his thoughts like a ghost who wasn't the same as a real her. The ghost wasn't her, it was a bad version of her he had made in his own head. He had visions of her, her eyes, her hair. It was as if death itself had showed him heaven just for him to be dragged down to burn in pain. She was his world, and like Atlas, he would have carried her with him till the end of time. He felt imprisoned, chained to the things he used to hate so passionately. Bottles of pleasure, short-term pleasure, next to him, his phone in his head. The visions got worse. Dots of light appeared in his room. Colors filled his grey walls. Shapes, sounds, voices. Her voice. It was too much. The peace he used to feel being close to her. The peace he used to feel in the cave. He didn't even know what it was anymore. It ended him. It was too much. The darkness got brighter. So bright, he couldn't hold his eyes open much longer. The quietness around him got louder until it was no longer. Until he was no longer. A tragic story. A story about love. The love you give to others, but also yourself. There's a lot to learn from this story. We especially can look at the mistakes he made, because that's easy for us as humans. To look at the mistakes of others, the not accepting of what is over. It's a story people can look at, and I hope they will, but they probably only will if they like art, even if it's just a little bit. The people who like the work might even think about it, the concepts and ideas of it, maybe even learn from it. If they are really into it, they experienced it the way I hope all people would. They had empathy and lived with the characters. They felt his sadness. I hope the painting at least gave you something to feel. That was my goal. Good art does make you feel, I think. But there's more. Tragic stories don't have to be your story. You decide what is. You can open up new chapters, but only by living and actually doing, because that's how things change. Go outside, to the park, and look around. Look at the people, all with their own stories, their own experiences. The man in the first painting had people who cared. The man in the second painting had them as well, but he couldn't see or feel them. He wouldn't accept their help. He had friends and family. They were only one call, one conversation away, and would have done anything to help. But his mind was solely focused on restoring what once was, instead of opening up a new chapter. It's good to know when to hold on to people and not forget them, but letting go is also part of life, how difficult that might be. The man in the first painting, he created the second one, but didn't live it. He's experiencing life, to tell more stories, to create more, with people who care around him. No negativity. He explores, creates, learns. You should try it. Try it out yourself. That might just be the best thing you do today. I am Fedde Robben, and this was The Relief of Moving On.